Hello and good morning to everybody. I hope you're having a most wonderful, joyous, and happy day. I am coming to talk to you guys about being an empath and what that looks like or how it's been explained to me. And I wanted to share some details of being an empath. I'm sure if you are on this journey or you have notice something a little bit different about you when you walk into a room. You tend to be a lot more sensitive to the energies that are in the area. Sometimes people may have said, oh, you're such a highly sensitive person. You're just too sensitive. And to me, it's not that you're too sensitive, right? To me, it's that you're just feeling more sensation than others. I think everybody's gifts develop differently. Some people have the gifts where they, may have more of an inner eye mind, right? Where they're given more like visions. Some people might have they kind of hear their answers in their head or they just kind of know their answers. And then I think there's some people that just are sensitive to feeling the situation a little bit differently than others. So, couple words I wanted to go over was being compassionate, having empathy, and how those two differ from being an actual empath, at least in my point of view and what I have been kind of shown about that information. So being compassionate toward others, that is just having compassion and trying to understand what that person's going through. No matter if it's a happy situation, a sad situation, we can have compassion for everybody around us, right? We can feel for them and send love for them. So that's like having compassion. And then having empathy for somebody is when you are going through the same situation that person's going through, right? You can match their feelings. You can match their feelings the same because you've been through the same situation. So for instance, you've had a pet who has passed, right? And your friend now has a pet that's passing. You know what they're feeling because you've gone through the exact same feelings. So you have empathy for them. And so being an empath or a highly sensitive person just means that you are in tuned to the frequency around you and the frequency of others. And these others can be people, plants, and animals, and crystals, rocks, anything that is giving off a vibration, right? You can feel, you sense and feel, and sometimes you take it on as your own because you're not really sure what's happening, but you sense this around you. So an example would be, you're driving on the freeway, you're having a great time, you're just cruising down the road singing, and all of a sudden you get massive road rage out of nowhere. You're just like, oh, I don't understand where this massiveness came, and I'm mad about the car and the vehicles, and they got to get out of my way. You very well could have picked up a person that was driving by you and picked up their energy, and now you took it on as yours. And so that is what an empath or highly sensitive person does. And usually it happens that way when we are drained in our own power, right? We're so drained. Life drains us. We've never worked with our gift before. We don't understand that all of these things that are happening is because we're just absorbing all this energy, right? It's not like they have a class in school about this saying, oh yes, this is all you people that are highly sensitive or an empath, please come with us. We're going to show you what to do now, right? Which would be great because it would help so many people. I mean, so many people have this gift to where they're feeling others' energies, but they take it on as their own. So number one, I will say is a lot of times that energy will come on quick and out of nowhere. Just like I said, you're driving and all of a sudden, boom. Or, you're in a classroom and all of a sudden you're anxious and you just don't know where it came from. Or all of a sudden you're sad and you don't know where it came from. Usually it will come on kind of out of the blue and very quick, and that you don't really understand where it came from. Okay. So that is how I've been shown how it works for me. And it's going to work for other people differently, but I do know that when we are drained of our own power and when we're sitting and our energy is all scattered, it's easier to pick up other people's. And you can pick up their emotions, their thoughts, and their pains. Like if you a knee ache, a shoulder ache, elbow ache. I've even picked up people's like cravings for food. So, so it's just about checking in and understanding. So what do we do, right? Well, I'm going to tell you what helped me. Okay. So number one, you start asking yourself, is this energy yours or somebody else's? Okay. So for a minute, I'm going to ask you if you're in a safe place, someplace that you can relax. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and I'm going to walk you through a small little meditation on feeling what is yours and what is not yours. So if you'd close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Out. Another one in and out. And so I would like you to walk and picture that you're going into a room, or feel that you're going into a room. And in this room, there's 2 doors. I would like you to go pick one of the doors and walk in. And as you walk in, you realize it's a closet. When you look at this closet and all the clothes that are in it, you realize that they're too big or too small, the wrong color. They're just not a right fit for you and your personality. I want you to take an item of clothing and pick it up and look at it and put it on. When you turn around, there's a mirror behind you. I want you to look at this article of clothing that doesn't fit you. Might be too small, might be too big, definitely the wrong color. I want to have you sit in that feeling for a minute. What's it feel like for you to be in this wrong clothes? And when you have that feeling, I want you to go ahead and take off the article of clothing and hang it back up and thank it, and come out of the closet and close the door. I want you to walk over to the other door where we first started and you saw. And this time when you walk into that room and that door and that closet, everything is perfectly made for you. The clothes are your perfect style, perfect color, perfect fit. And I want you to pick out an article of clothing and put it on and turn around and look at yourself in the mirror in this beautiful garment that you're wearing that's just for you. And I want you to start to feel what that sensation feels like when it's just yours. I want you to sit with that feeling for a minute. See where it starts to bring forth energy in your body. I want to thank it, take the article of clothes off, hang it back up, and come out of the closet and stand in that room. Take a breath, blow it out, and then open your eyes. So you can do that over and over again until you start until you start feeling what energy belongs to you or what it feels like when it's yours. So when I first started this and I was asking, is this mine or not mine? I would go through and do it like, oh my gosh, all day long, right? Every minute, every second of every day. If a thought would come in, is it mine? Is it not mine? If a pain would come in, is it mine or is it not mine? If anything, energy, I'd feel a sensation, feel a pain, and it was just, and like I said, I even picked up somebody's craving one time. I was in a room and they were hungry for ice cream, and I was like, man, I'm kind of hungry for ice cream. I don't even eat ice cream, and not that kind. And I was like, okay, who's hungry for ice cream? So it's a muscle and you're building it. So you want to practice it every day. Practice it all the time. Is this mine? Is it not mine? Okay. So my sensations for me are, I get head to toe tingles and chills when it's mine. Whether it's something, it's good for me, or something that's been a trauma that I've held for too long. If it's mine and I need to process through it, I will get chills. If it's not mine, I don't really get any sensation at all. It's just kind of like crickets. Nothing's happening, right? So sometimes people will get kind of like a heavy feeling in their belly. So whatever it works for you. If it's not yours, what do you do, right? So it doesn't matter who it belongs to. You do not have to know the individual that it belongs to. And we return it, especially right now, we're all learning what to do. You return the energy back to who it belongs to. Always with love, always with awareness for them to help bring in guidance for them to heal it or for them to figure it out, okay? So for me, I picture like a big heart. I send it into the heart, and then I just kind of hit the heart and it returns to sender. That's how I pick up, or I send it back to people. Like I said, we are always sending it back with love and awareness for them to work through that issue themselves. I don't feel, and my guide team, we've worked on a lot of stuff. I don't feel that it is everybody's job to process or transmute or transcend other people's energies themselves. I feel that we all have a responsibility for our own thoughts, feelings, and emotions for us to solve them, right? Those are our lessons here and being human and why we walk through emotions. So in my opinion, we send the energy back to the person it belongs to with love and awareness and grace for them to heal it, solve it, figure it out. And this goes for anybody that is living, anybody that has passed, your family members, because we take on a lot of family stuff. So whatever it is, we're gracefully sending it back to that person. Now, if it's yours, and usually when you send it back, it should stop right then and there, okay? I'm going to talk about thoughts for a minute. So if there's a thought that's racing in your mind that just keeps coming up, right? You've looked at it, you've asked it, it just keeps coming in your mind. You don't understand why it keeps coming back, right? That's not yours. It's somebody else's. So you need to gracefully send that back for them to work on, okay? Now, if it is yours, right? So when you say, okay, I feel this energy. Is it mine? Okay, yes, it is mine, right? belongs to you. You get some sort of knowing that it's yours. Like I said, I get chills, or I will just all of a sudden just know, oh, that's mine, right? Then I go and ask more questions, okay? Where did it come from? When did I pick this up, right? This thought, this belief, this pattern, something. It could have been being with family members and I picked something up that wasn't mine necessarily, wasn't my thought or belief necessarily, but then it just ingrained into me, right? Or it could have been going through school and picking up different things that, may not have resonated with you, but you have now taken on as your own, right? So I ask when did it start? Where did it start? How did it start? So I usually ask what, when, where, and how questions to myself. And I just keep asking them over and over. So I'll say, when is this? When is this? When is this? Where did it start? Where did it start? I just ask the questions over and over until I feel a lightening somewhere. So I might say, when is this? Where is this? How is this? Who did it come from? Like these questions. And somewhere in there, one of those questions will start to feel different than the others. And so that's when I start following down that path. Okay, so when did I pick this up? What age was I? Is it this lifetime? Is it another lifetime? So I just go through all the questions, and as I'm asking questions, you'll get an awareness of what it is, what you took on that made this happen, and how you can heal it and let it go. If it needs to be healed and let go, right? But most of the time we're talking about we're too overloaded, we've picked up too much energy, and now we need to solve where this is sitting in our system and for us to work through it, right? So we have getting rid of those energies, knowing what's not yours, letting it go to the other people so you can focus on what is yours and what needs healing, okay? So the next step after all of that is, how do you recharge yourself, right? How do we recharge ourselves? And believe me, as a highly sensitive person and as an empath, and not knowing any of this stuff, right? I was drained when I started learning all this stuff. Drained to the point where all I wanted to do was sleep. I really didn't want to talk to a whole lot of people. I wanted to stay inside. It was a very, very, very low energy place. And especially for somebody who likes to be smiley and happy all the time, right? So what do? So the things that have helped me, and usually along your life as you've grown up, you've probably gravitated toward some form of element that has helped you recharge even though you didn't know you were doing it when you were little, right? Mine is water. It does follow my birth sign. I tend to find that it does sometimes follow people's birth signs. So if you're a water sign, water might be your goal, your key, recharge. But I would come home from school and I would draw a bath and I would lay in that bath for hours. I'd fall asleep in the bath, and I didn't really know. I had no clue at the time what was happening. I just knew that I needed a bath, right? I need to be in water. The other thing that really worked for me was music, frequency, music. I would put it on and either dance or just lay down and let the frequencies just come through. Funny thing for me is the faster the frequency, the faster the beat of the music, I fall asleep. So I had a really dear friend, Nate, who when we were younger made tape. He would copy tapes for me, and a lot of it was like Pearl Jam and Nirvana. And I would lay down after school and put it in and completely fall asleep. So for me, the higher, faster frequencies tend to somehow regulate my frequency system, and then I just fall asleep. So, but you can dance. Fire is an element. A lot of people will stand with fire and it feels like it's regenerating them. Obviously taking walks in nature and being with Mother Earth, being with the trees, being with the plants, the flowers, the animals that are around. A lot of those will also help recharge you. So this is about learning how to let go of what does not belong to you so you can recharge your system. So you can start standing in a place where you're not getting overloaded. You can go to the party and be okay at the party, right? How many people out there have walked into a party or a gathering or whatever, right? Number one, you probably drive yourself because when it's time to go, you can go, right? And number two, when you get into that party, you always find a place where you can sit that's close to the door and your front is to the whole room, right? Yeah, I've done that just gravitationally, right? Or it's hard for you to go to the grocery store because there's so much energy, right? It's because you're so drained. And when an empath or highly sensitive person is completely drained, everybody's stuff will come in because we're so wide open that we don't know that we're taking everything on, right? So we've learned how to send energy back to people that doesn't belong, right? And now we're learning to rebuild your energy. So focus on going to like the elements, water, earth, standing in the wind, frequencies, right? Fires. Okay, so as you build your energy back up, I want you to now focus on your aura. So your aura is our 3-foot personal space bubble, right? When we were little, everybody's like, oh, personal space, stay away, right? That is your aura. That is your frequency bubble, right? This is your energy. And when people start to come into it and get too close, those energies mix. So now that you are getting yourself stronger, right? We're working on this every day to get yourself stronger. And I'm telling you, it takes time for you to build the muscle, all right? I think for me, it was a good solid year of every day asking, is this mine? Is it not mine? What's going on? How am I feeling? Where is this feeling? Where is it coming from, right? Every single day, all day long. And sometimes I would ask out loud. Other times I would just ask like in my head, okay? So I want you to then, as you're doing all of this in the beginning, I want you to embrace your aura. Embrace your personal space bubble. I want you to set your personal space bubble any way that you would like it to help you recharge your energy, right? So for me, I pictured it as kind of like a bouncy ball at first, right? And so when other people's energy came to me, because right now I'm learning to rebuild my energy, I can't take on anybody else's at this point in time, right? So it was a bouncy ball that shot back rainbows of love to people. And that's what I in the car, in the grocery stores, anywhere I went, that's what I did, right? So I would picture this as a bouncy ball, and if somebody, anxiety, hurt, pain, whatever it was coming toward me, I just had it bounce back with rainbows back to them in complete love. So it would wrap them up like a little hug, right? In the cars I was driving, if I would, people driving, whatever, I would do the same thing. The around the car would be this bouncy ball of rainbow, and when it hit, it would just go back to them with love and awareness and wrap them up with a big hug of rainbow goodness, right? So you can use however you want it. I've had people set it up like Jello so that it doesn't come into them. So right now your goal, because you're learning these new steps, your goal is to reinforce your aura so you can build your energy. So you can build your own energy. You're getting rid of other people's stuff and having your own energy come back to you, right? This helps you become strong in the ability that you have, right? Being an empath is a superpower, people. It's a superpower. And when you work with all these tools and you get very, very well-rounded in everything, all of a sudden you can stand in that grocery store and have a smile on your face and be perfectly okay. Because you're no longer absorbing everybody's energy, right? And you can be with your family and you can have fun and laugh and joy and bring up the energy of your root, right? Us being an empath, we don't only absorb others' energies. That's only when we're in our down, right? That's only when we're not standing in our power, right? Being an empath, actually, you can spread your frequency to the whole area, everybody that you're around. That is the superpower when you stand in your power. When you stand in your gift, you get to be the person that helps spread the energy out to everybody. Help spread high frequency out to everybody. Love, joy, right? Passion, fun, laughter, right? It's just we have never been taught how. We've never been taught all of this stuff. And I'm grateful that my guides and teachers have brought me the information so I can share to you guys on how it looks for at least us and what makes sense for me to share to you guys, right? Everybody will have their different patterns. There's going to be something else that helps you that, or you can try something and then something else is different, right? It's not I'm going to do this and it's not a one-stop shop, right? It's customizable to each person because we all are uniquely different, even though we are all one love, right? But we are all still uniquely different. We're all part of the same source. We're just a different strand of that source. But being an empath, standing in your true power, you are the frequency changer in your family, in your area, when you go to a party and you go to a wedding. Like, that is what, have you ever gone to a concert and seen your most favorite person or heard the most beautiful music, and that music sends just whole body chills to the point where you're just crying in joy, right? That is an empath superpower right there. Right there, an empath or highly sensitive person, at least from the way I've been given it, the way I've been shown. So take all of these steps, work on them. It is a muscle. And as you train that muscle, it will start to run on autopilot for you. And when it starts to run on autopilot, there's going to be situations where the energy comes in more intense. The feeling that you're picking something else up comes in more intense, so that hey, this is a muscle and I still need to work with it every now and then, right? But it will start running on autopilot, and you won't have to focus on it so much. And the more you do all this, and the more you heal what is truly yours, right? and you start this all raises your frequency. It raises your frequency. And I'm not sure, I want everybody to go out and look at like frequency pyramid. That's just what I search. I can't remember the exact name for it, but it's a pyramid that has different frequency levels on it, right? So like anger is really low in the frequency, it's like 50 hertz. And jealousy and grief and, all of these frequencies are a lower, denser energy, right? And they only start causing issues when we stand in them too long, right? Because you're going to feel angry and you're going to feel grief and you're going to feel sadness. Like this is, you might even feel jealousy at certain points in your life, right? All of this stuff is normal human emotion. It's when we get stuck in that frequency, okay? And that's when we also get drowned, and that's when we also open the door for everybody else's stuff to come in, when you're staying in that lower frequency. So as you clear out all of this denseness and you start to raise your energy, you're raising it to, love, joy, happiness, right? Those are higher frequencies on this scale. I think they're like 500, 600 hertz on this frequency scale. It goes up to 1,000. So just to give like reference of, for people. So if you're standing in this higher frequency, this 500, and you're able to produce that love for others, right? You're walking the store, your aura is sending all that love back to other people. It's going to help them raise their frequency. And as everybody raises their frequency, the more love and the more joy and the more happiness starts to encompass the world, right? And it spreads to people. Have you ever been to a party or an event or anything where you have somebody that's just laughing, right? Or a little baby, they start to laugh and then everybody starts to laugh, and how much energy that radiates and brings up into the world. How much that just starts and it spreads, right? These people are laughing and these people are laughing and then more people laugh and everybody's laughing and bringing so much joy in. That, to me, is the empath superpower, because you have that ability to turn it around, right? Instead of having it open to like drowned, right? You've now filled your cup, you're full, you're staying in your power, and you've now turned it around so you're helping other people, right? And you truly are helping them just by being you. Just by being you. You walk into a store, you smile. Maybe somebody needed that smile that day, right? Or even if you have your aura and it bounces back and sends them love. It wraps them in a love bubble. You can picture however you want it. I picture it like I said, rainbows wrapping them in this ginormous hug of just love to help lift their day, right? To help them smile and start laughing. And just once, maybe they needed it that day, right? And you go through and you help others in that manner without draining your energy. Because your energy is coming from source, right? You see this up here, right? Your energy comes from source and it comes from Mother Earth. That's what's replenishing you. The elements replenish you. The area that you're in replenishes you. Those replenish you and you share it back. And you're not getting drowned anymore. And while you're learning, while you're going through this process, you're going through the steps that I've laid out for you, it's okay. Oh yeah, the other thing we got to talk about is boundaries, right? Boundaries. Empaths and highly sensitive people have a hard time setting boundaries. It's just as we do. Because we want everybody to feel happy. Because we can feel their sadness, right? Yeah, it's kind of a fickle double-edged sword thing. But when when we are drowned, right? And we're not setting boundaries, or we don't understand, and everybody's coming at us. Can you go to this thing? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And we're like, yes, 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 even though we don't want to, right? This is the other important thing about this restructuring yourself into a superpower, is setting healthy for you boundaries, which means if you come home from work and you now get invited out to dinner with friends and you're tired and your initial reaction is, man, I just want to stay home. Stay home. If they're your real friends, they're not going to ask anything. They're just not, right? They're going to be like, okay, cool. Maybe next time, right? Like healthy boundaries are there to help you stay in your center, right? And it helps you from getting so worn out and drowned and down in the frequencies. Because as soon as you start getting worn out and drowned and down in the frequency, guess what happens? Everybody's stuff starts coming back in, right? So this is helping you stay up in your frequency, stay full, have your energy. And it feels really, really strange to start saying no. It really does. It's a very powerful little word, right? It just means like, no, I can't. And maybe it's you can't do it right now, right? Maybe if the kids come home and you've had a bad day and they're all asking you, I could eat this, I could eat that, and you just say, hey guys, no, right now. I need a half hour to sit and recharge, right? Go listen to music, go dance, go do something, go for a little walk, put your feet in water, put your feet on earth, hug a tree, any of these things, right? It is to make sure that you are getting back into that strength, especially learning. You're probably very drowned, so especially learning. And it's okay to say no and set these boundaries for yourself. It is okay for you to do that, 100%. But it's going to feel weird. It just is. Because you feel like you're letting people down. All these things start racing in your head, right? Oh, I'm letting that person down, blah, blah. They're not going to like me anymore, blah. Whatever the storyline is. But this is all done for you to raise your energy, to stay in your energy, and so that you are able to help others. Because that's what the empath goal is, right? Our goal is to help others. That's just what it is. So we've covered how to tell it's yours. We've covered what to do, what questions to ask, right? We've covered how to set your aura to help get this all recharged. What you can do to recharge your system with elements and everything, and boundary settings, right? So start out today. Start out slow. Start out now, right? But keep working with it. It takes a little while to get used to the changes that you're making because you're so used to being for everybody, right? It's different when you're being for yourself. And when you're being for everybody else and you start being for yourself, it gets very, you kind of start feeling a little weird at first, right? Like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't do this. This is weird. But you really should do it because it helps you. So if you have any questions about it, reach out, right? Do me a favor, like and subscribe, share, please. Share the information with your friends because this does really help people and it really, really helps you find who you are. And it brings back your soul's energy of just, wanting to put smiles on people's faces, right? Wanting people to be happy. But you're happy too, right? You are happy too. You are happy as well. It's both people. So you just doubled the frequencies, right? So, all right, I will talk with you guys soon. If you have any questions, reach out. And as always, if you want to work with me, the link's in the bio for the sessions, and I can help walk you through a lot of this stuff. Love you guys. Have a great day.